Well, how's it going, guys? Sunday afternoon, and it is scorching hot out there. Not exactly sure of the temps, but in the sun, whew, it's pretty warm. Glad I got some shade. Won't have it for too long, though. Anyway, well, it's been a couple weeks since I made a video because my camera's been down in California with my mom. So, doing a little catch-up. Anyhow, bought this for the GMC. It's an MSD 6AL ignition control. Gives multiple sparks up to 3,000 RPM, and it gives a lot more voltage and spark than a stock HEI even gives. It's pretty cool. I did see a little comparison of it on YouTube, and man, that sucker puts out some voltage. If you're not careful, it'll blow a head right off just with the spark. Anyhow, only downside of this is that you can't use solid core spark plug wires. So you have to spend another $50 or more and get a set of spiral core wires. It's something to do with the electromagnetic emissions, something to do with resistance, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it is, but anyway, so got a nice set of MSD Street Fire plug wires. And we're going to try this box on the GMC. Just in the middle of doing it right now. Of course, got to have my lunch first. And I got the box mounted. Comes with some nice little vibration dampeners. And I'm just messing with all this spaghetti right now. These wires here are going to go to the battery, which, as you can see, falling a little short, but that's no big deal, as I have plenty of wire loom and plenty of wire that I can use on this. And these here are going to go to the coil. This, I believe, also might go to the coil as well. And then this here is the tack wire. And this here, I'm not sure, I don't remember what it is. And then I've got to cut this wire loop, either one basically, to get it into 6-cylinder mode. Because this is made for 4, 6, and 8 cylinders. Only thing is I can't remember if this is an even fire or an odd fire. I think it's an even fire. I guess I'll find out when this box is hooked up. So, anyway, gonna get this hooked up, of course, after I eat my lunch. And I'll bring you guys back when we're getting somewhere. Well, it's been at least 2 hours later. Maybe, actually, no. It's been probably about 3 or 4 hours. Anyway, so, holy cow, this was hard to figure out. And the reason being was because I have a Petronix unit in here. And it took some common sense, but I never did claim I was an electrical man. But I will say I did an okay job of figuring this out. Anyway, so these units are made for points or HEI setups. But when you use a Petronix setup, that's not going to be in your directions, so you're going to have to figure this out by yourself. These are made basically for the large, big cap HEIs like my 292 used to have. So it would make it really easy. So, with this, basically what you're going to have to do, the Petronix has its own black wire and its own red wire that come from the unit and go to the coil. And then the coil gets a 12-volt source. Now, that's stock. Now, when you put this MSD box on, basically you're going to separate the coil from the ignition itself. And the coil is going to rely directly on the MSD box for power. Now, when you install this, you take the black wire from the Petronix and hook it directly to the white wire from the MSD box. Then you take the red wire from the Petronix and hook that to a switched 12-volt ignition source, such as a fused or unfused terminal on your fuse block. And what that'll do is that'll give, when you turn the key on, power to the Petronix and then that will cause it to trigger with this wire here the MSD box, which will trigger the coil. So it was kind of complicated figuring it out, but if I was a professional electrician, probably wouldn't have took me so long. Anyway, on this MSD box that isn't as stretched out as you think, you've got your two heavies, which go directly from the battery to the MSD box. Then you got your red, which goes to a switched 12-volt source. You've got your gray, which goes to the tach. Now mind you, this is only compatible with some tachometers, so I'm not going to list them all because I don't know them all. And then this is compatible with 4, 6, and 8-cylinder even fire engines. So for a 6-cylinder, you cut one of these loops and it's good to go. So it is hooked up, the engine does run, and it runs like a top. But I'm not going to start it right now because I've got too many wires hanging, and what I'm going to do is get these all situated, loomed up, cleaned up, and then we'll fire it up, take it for a little drive. I'll probably do a driving video as a part 2. Also, I'm going to see if I can get my tachometer hooked up. So anyway, if you have any questions, just leave some comments below on how to hook up an MSD box to a Protronix, unless you are a professional electrician and can figure this stuff out with ease, which takes me a little longer, and about 4 hours to figure this out. But all in the fun. So anyway, get back to work, get this wiring all cleaned up, and man, is it stinking hot outside. Oh my gosh. Oh well, having too much fun.